Good morning guys, and welcome to today's vlog. We are pretty much local to home today. We're about, you say 5 miles? Yeah, about 5 miles away from home. This is the most popular outdoor area in the Milton Keynes vicinity. It is Willen Lake. You've got Willen Lake south to our right, Willen Lake north to our left. It's man-made, probably about 8 foot deep in the middle. There is an aqua park there, there's a fun fair. It's adjacent to Gullivers theme park land. You have like a smaller version of the London Eye, it's an observatory wheel, etc. We're basically outside of a Buddhist temple at the moment. I've told the story before of one of the Buddhist monks that unfortunately died. He got run over by his own lawnmower in a freak accident. His anniversary of his death would actually be tomorrow, but today we're just going to have a general walk around and show you what is at Willen Lake. So let's go and do this. I actually always thought this was some sort of naff version of a Stonehenge, but it actually has a purpose. It's supposedly a medicine wheel, something to do with peace in the world, etc. We are pretty close to the Peace Pagoda, but let's have just a quick look round. There is a plaque for it here. Really strange. I don't know whether you're supposed to walk round and it does something, it brings you health, does whatever, but it is very Stonehenge-esque, if that's the right word to say. Will you walk through them? I don't know. But really strange. Actually, stone is not modelled at all. Somewhere someone has gone along and dug these up out of the ground and placed them here. Probably been here, or maybe 2 decades, but I've never actually seen it up close. This sits adjacent to the North Lake. Now, in the middle of that North Lake, it used to be called Goat Island. There used to be goats that were kept for their milk, possibly their meat, by the monks behind us. That right there at the top of the hill, in amongst the shrubs and the trees itself, that's the peace tree. It's a tree where local people have just gone and put trinkets, etc., hanging from the branches to those who have been lost in conflict and wars throughout the last maybe 30-40 years. I've shown this before, but let's just briefly go up these steps. I'm not going all the way to the top. This is the Peace Pagoda, which was opened by dignitaries from all over the world in 1980. Said we're still in the grounds of where the unfortunate monk died with the accident with the lawnmower, which would have been this area here. But yeah, that is pretty ornate. You go up close to that, there's all in scriptures, there's loads of things dedicated to peace throughout the world, which we could certainly do with at this time. This would give a much better view if you had a drone, or you was looking from probably 50-60 feet up in the air. But this is actually a maze drawn out on the ground. Not that I'm going to even bother to attempt it. You can just walk straight through the centre to the tree. The tree is the centre point, and it all sort of circles out. Blind alleys. I don't know if it's one of these yin and yang things, but all sort of fits perfectly into the area. There's an area at the back there, small wooded area, people can walk around, and at the back of that is Willen Hospice. There's a shot of your maze. I was pretty much standing around here. Okay, that's all the change I have. I'll pass it over to Rach and she can go along here and place all them coins in the wishing well. Now normally we would like to make a wish, the things that we'd love in life. I suppose everybody does that, but the only thing I'm wishing for is for everyone who's suffering is that they have time. It just seems like a precious commodity at the moment. It's just a little bit blustery today. There is your goat island. Not goat as in greatest of all time, but as in the creature. I do love the way that the light glistens on the water over there with that lonely swan. Pineham reminds me that just over that tree line over there was one of the local motocross tracks that I used to race at, the Pineham dirt bike track. I done the mud, sweat and gears, which was the most awful condition that you could ever race in with motocross, apart from the Wild and Woolly in Northamptonshire. Basically they will find the boggiest, muckiest part of the track, build something through it, and you would have to try and navigate your way around it for about an hour and a half. I actually remember coming home from one of the race meetings and I blinked and I had so much mud all over me that there was mud at the back of my eyes. But yeah, good old days. Good maybe 25 plus years ago now. Adjacent to that will be a BMX track. This is an old weir. It just sort of controls the water that goes in and out of the area. Obviously the reeds around, not a safe area to go swimming at all. So it is only, well, I suppose 8 foot deep is quite deep, but 8 foot deep, but probably 5 foot deep in reeds. So that's how people get into difficulty. You have a heron now, trying to see if you can spy some fish in the weir. Seems quite content, let's let him be. For those of you who may be interested in paying a visit to this area at some point, this is the more quieter north side of the lake. We'll go to the south side, just the other side of that bridge. And talking about that bridge, your proximity, as you can see them cars travelling backwards and forwards along there, you've got a couple of roundabouts in that direction, probably about 500-600 metres, and those roundabouts, of which Milton Keynes has a plethora of them, there just seems to be absolutely everywhere. When they design Milton Keynes, it's as if wherever someone put their coffee mug down and it left a ring is where they built the roundabouts. But back to what I was saying, to your left over there, less than 600 metre away, is junction 14 of the M1. So easy to find, easy to locate. For us, I think we've paid £4 and it gives us 5 hours parking, which is, we just wanted plenty enough to be able to do what we wanted film wise, with not being any constraints with time, etc. So no fishing that side, but you can fish that way. But what if you went round and went there? Decided to cut back over to this side of the lake, because to your left it's pretty much just more walking round, but it's to your right hand side, the other side of this bridge, you'll see what the lake facilities itself has to offer, and it is pretty spectacular. It's sort of, I think people used to do windsurfing etc around here, but now that's all changed. You can do these sort of obstacle courses, which Get Binky, I'm pretty sure, would enjoy having a crack at that. Sorry if it's a bit windy around here. Yeah, that will bring back memories for some people. And just showing that you don't have to go all the way to Florida just to do it. If you wanted to try it out, first of all, before you went over there, you can try it in this country. Yeah, plenty of activity from your water sports to your fishing, etc. Then you have all the complexes over there, restaurants, eateries. There's a hotel on site now. Now that dome at the back there, that is the escape building at Central Milton Keynes. So that just shows you also the proximity. So you could spend a day shopping. There's Premier Inns over there as well. You could stay locally around the area. That dome itself has a snow dome, so you've got indoor skiing, snow skiing. You've got Cineplex, Cineworld. You've got bowling. You've got your, what would they call it, your arcades, your virtual reality type tour things, your escape rooms, etc. Then you have a variety of bars, restaurants, crazy golf, all that sort of stuff. There is an air, which is like an indoor skydiving. But yeah, plenty there. And that is your dome area there with a crane to the side of it. There is your wheel, which is very much like a, I suppose that is about a third of the side of the London Eye. And here you can do your crazy stuff. Seems like a bygone era of yesteryear, but all this throughout round the lake, years and years ago, you used to have every maybe 100 yards you'd have some sort of apparatus for gym work, etc. But now long gone, unfortunately. So there are some gym apparatus about, but I'll be having to go on that. I'd probably do about 1, maybe 2 runs before ending up on a heap on the floor. You having to go, Rach?
Nope.
Nope. Your new additions on site now, which have come in probably about the last 3 or 4 months. We now have a Brewers Fair on site. Next to that is actually your Premier Inn. The Premier Inn used to be over there at the front where there is a waterfront bar and cafe, but now the new Premier Inn sits adjacent to this Brewers Fair, which is great if you want a reasonably priced meal. And there now is your new Premier Inn that sits adjacent to the Willen Dragon, as it's called. Now it might be called the Willen Dragon because this sort of time of year they do have a dragon boat festival and have dragon boat racing on the lake. Here's a close-up of your observation wheel. It says percentage of the size of your London Eye. If you go up in that, it will give you a spectacular view. For one more day only, it ends tomorrow. This is the John Scarrett Summer Fair, which is here seasonally every summer. Not going to go into too much of great detail, no point with only having 1 day left. But you've got your traditional waltzer, twister, funhouse, etc. and all your hooker duck and your regular games. But added fun for you if you come during the summertime. And of course I'll film because there's no kids about there currently, but there is also a splash area for the kiddies to play around. Ideal for the hot summer. This is the area where your old Premier Inn was. It's got your pub and grill to your right. There used to be an old jetty section that went right out there where the boats would moor up. Got photographs of me there when I was maybe 7, 8 years old. People out there on the old paddle boats, windsurfers, and there's some sort of, I don't know what that activity is that's going on over there, but I'll try and get close and have a look. It still is a gym area, and if bikes are your thing, you can hire bikes from over here. I am kind of surprised that this is not operational, whether it fell into disrepair, etc., or whether, I know there's a problem with the trains over the years, but this used to be, whether it ever will be again, your old miniature railway. So coming back up, the track would follow up this line here, which I can follow, and then there's one of these set of apparatus here. The actual engine of the train would get on here, although this looks like it's seized. That, although it'd probably go in the opposite direction, make its way round, and then your train come back off there, stop at the platform with new passengers and head off out down this way. Said I'm surprised it's no longer working, but as you can see, I suppose curbs uplifted, the track's covered in dirt. It could be, I don't know, maybe the best part of a decade since it's been used. Just an old relic that was here, that if someone put a bit of time and effort in, I know there are miniature railways about, put a little bit of time and effort in, this could be up and running again in next to no time. There are, it's like doing urbex again, there are a couple of your old carriages around here, and this old shed area. So your passengers would sit on there. Don't know what that's, yeah, that's well wedged. He's undercover here. Maybe there might have been an engine in there at some point, but that's where they would have been held. Passengers would have sat on there, and your little steam engine or diesel powered engine will take you off on these tracks, and they go around this area of Willen for approximately a mile, I guess. And follow the track round here. So yeah, it does look as if it needs quite a lot of repairing, but it could be done to bring it back to life again. If climbing and being a tree dweller even is your sort of thing, then a tree trop experience, extreme, could be your kind of thing. These have gone by other names in the past, like your Go Ape, etc. This has been here well over a decade, taken on different names over the past, but not my sort of thing. Bit on the heavy side for that, and I'm not overly keen on major heights. Still very much part of Willen Lake, but your deep southern side goes under the road here and ends up parallel to your, I believe it'd be your River Ouse over there. There's a small little bridge, and the river stroke stream goes past the old track as we've been following. Would circle back on itself now, go back through this tunnel and head back that way to the station, which is at the front of the Willen Lake area itself. This area itself, I don't know why, it's got to be probably the way that the trees are so spaced out and pointing and straight up, that we've always called this the ET Wood. Reason being, it reminds us very much of your pre-ride area on the ET Universal Studios ride. You go in there, you meet ET's relatives as they tell him to go home quickly, etc. Is it Barticus? Something like that. But yeah, you go through the woods, you'd have your speak and spell machine in there, etc. A few satellite areas, and it's all sort of set about in a tree area like this for some reason. So whenever we're here, and it's been probably a good 3 or 4 years since I've been up here, that this reminds us of that very ride. Ironic that roughly 6 weeks to the day, would it be the day? No, it'd be 6 weeks tomorrow, I believe, we'll actually be in Florida at Epcot, the first proper day of our Orlando adventures. any of you archers out there or would-be Robin Hoods, they even have an area here where you can come down and try your arm at archery. Now, an interesting fact about the likes of your archery, and this goes back to Agincourt. This is very much a family channel that I've got here, but when people show the two fingers, that actually comes from a time of Agincourt, and it was the archers, their way of insulting the French, is to turn around and go like that, but turn around and say they still had their two fingers to pull the bow. That's what that's all about. Now making our way through the backside of, not the backside of Water, but the backside of Willen. See the sign there showing Willen to your right, but to your left you have a dinosaur land and a Gullivers adventure land. As I said, immediately to your left of the Willen Lake area is your entrance to Gullivers theme park, which no point really in ourselves having a look around. We wouldn't be able to get in anyway. It's predominantly for children of the age of say 4 to 14 years of old and their families, so you need a child to go on the rides, you need a child to get entrance. That is basically your Main Street-esque type of area with a mouse at the front right there. There is rides you might hear possibly in the distance, but yeah, that's Gulliver's Land. To the immediate left of that is a Dinosaur Land, all part of the same franchise. But yeah, that is directly across the road from your Willen Lake area, so another reason why to come and have a visit. I am still yet to go on one of these, but one day I'll certainly be venturing out on one. Try not to break my neck. This just shows you the drought area we got at the moment. This would be a stream, not a river, but a stream bed overflow for when you have heavy torrential rain, but it is totally barren, totally dry, nothing at all left here now. It's like they're all waiting for a dip. That's certainly something I would probably consider having a go at some point. I mean, I feel at home in the water, so why not? I mean, it ain't going to do you any harm, it's just inflatables. Fancy going on them, Rach?
No, thank you.
No?
You'll make me do all the work.
Well, that's the idea, isn't it? We're about to get a taste bud explosion of strawberry and blue raspberry slush puppy.
Thank you. Then red?
Yep. And keep alternating, just keep doing that. And it's like a shark attack then. Top it off with a red. There we go, Jaws has come to town. Okay, we're into our last area of today's adventure. Just a walk around. Last time we came through here, it was winter time, it was barren. There's virtually no leaves on the trees. Wildlife was pretty much scarce. Now it's probably in abundance but hidden in the trees again. This is proximity to Willen Lake, is just next to Willen Lake itself and Gullivers land. This is your tree cathedral area. It's basically an area with all different sort of trees, from chestnut to evergreens, etc., birch. I'm not a tree expert, sorry about that, but there's just this avenue of trees in this area, and it's shaped based basically, I think, on Norwich Cathedral. It is a peaceful area where people can be interned. Their ashes can be interned under the ground here. You can have ceremonies, etc. But it's just a quite quaint and peaceful area adjacent to the park. I didn't even know about this until I looked on Google Maps when we were sourcing places to go out for walks, etc. And yeah, it's quite surreal being here and looking at it. You have a nave area here at the top. Just something slightly different, let's just say. Quite tranquil and peaceful to end today's vlog. You pretty much get lost with your own thoughts around here. And we're certainly quiet and away from the hustle and bustle, apart from the occasional car you hear. I haven't got a clue what's up here, but it is part of the tree cathedral itself, so I shall have a look. Could just be an observation point. Yeah, it just seems like a basic observation point. Maybe it's just a, I don't know, maybe something that where people would say they're reaching to the heavens, etc. Let's make our way home for the day. And so today's vlog comes to an end. I hope you guys have really enjoyed it. It was just a quite relaxing walk around, something that's local to us. It's the most popular outdoor purpose-built facilities that we have here in Milton Keynes. Willen Lake has been around circa 1980. If you go to Florida a lot, it's like Epcot but without the World Showcase, but without the countries around it. Instead of that, you've got exercise apparatus every 100 yards instead of going into each and every country with the foods, etc. And it just shows you something little that we've got here, just to get away from the hustle and bustle. You can get too much caught up with walking around shopping centres, with your head on the ground, walking around like a zombie all the time. So sometimes you just got to look up, look what's available to you. It's cost us, all in all, probably £4 for parking. We did have a coffee, which was probably a couple of quid each, and the slush puppy just back there, which was also £3.50. You could have taken your own packed lunch and made it even cheaper itself. Obviously, if you know the area, you can park parallel with the area itself without paying a parking charge. Then it all becomes free just for a walkabout. You would have to pay for your likes of your splash zone, going into some of your other areas. You obviously have to pay to go to the aqua park or doing the boarding, etc. But all in all, a good day. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you very much for watching. Consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you a penny. See you guys in the movies. Thank you. Bye for now.